If you've ever wanted to see Jeff Goldblum play an asshole, then you need to check out Kaos on Netflix.
What have you brought today? Tell me.
I suppose if you like Greek mythology, it's good for that as well.
I'm an agent of chaos.
People say that about me. Lots of people say that about me. Kaos is a show that recently dropped on Netflix, and I really do think it's worth checking out. It's a bit hard to describe since it is about multiple storylines happening, but basically it is a modern day retelling of Greek mythology. That sounds right, and that's also what it says on IMDb, so yeah. That's what it is. It stars Jeff Goldblum, Stephen Dillane, Janet McTeer, Aurora Perrineau, Nabhaan Rizwan, Killian Scott, and Misia Butler. I am 100% positive I butchered at least 4 of those names, and I apologize to all. Oh, and Cliff Curtis. I can't forget that guy because he was actually one of my favorite characters in this season. Damn it, and it has David Thewlis. Basically, this show has a very large cast. Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus, the god of lightning, and he is portrayed as a man who is power-hungry, egotistical, and very prone to violence. You could compare him to Homelander, and I think you would be completely justified in doing so. He really has Homelander vibes. And I never thought in my life I would see Jeff Goldblum play a character like this. It is very refreshing to see, though, because something about that voice, his delivery while he's being an asshole, it's just the chef's kiss. Now, as I said earlier, this show basically is broken up as multiple storylines. There are different story threads happening throughout the show, but one of my favorite story threads actually takes place in the underworld. In my opinion, these are the scenes that have the most heart, not to mention they are beautifully shot. I absolutely loved the decision to have all the underworld scenes be in black and white. It really added an art house quality, and it just makes it look very beautiful. Not to mention, it's a great way of keeping track of where you are in the storyline. Are you on Mount Olympus? Are you in the underworld? It's pretty clear if you're in the underworld. Now, one thing that is abundantly clear throughout this first season is that the other gods are really sick of Zeus. He is scary. He's an asshole. He's controlling. He never hesitates to throw his position into their faces. He is their leader, and they must do as he wants. And those gods, by the way, they are not good people either. They are also terrible people, but they don't like having someone else be more terrible than them, and Zeus really is. Also, I thought this was kind of cool, and some of you throners out there, I bet, are going to take notice, but the guy playing Prometheus is the guy who played Stannis on Game of Thrones. I loved his character. Not only is he the main narrator of the story, but he really is the driving force behind the main plot threads. Cliff Curtis has had a long, distinguished career that I have not paid too much attention to. Usually he is playing side characters, and that is probably why. He also plays a lot of assholes. Actually, he's a side character in this show as well, but something about his performance in this season, in this show, I really, really liked him, and it's the first time I've really been like, wow, that guy is great. And now I want to go back and see some of his other stuff so I can have a newfound appreciation for him. I've always found Greek mythology to be very fascinating. There's lots of cool creatures. There's different kinds of lore. There's powers. It's very mystical, and it is very fascinating and just really compelling. And although Greek mythology has already been adapted many times before, it still feels fresh and original every time I see it. In fact, way more fresh than the superhero genre is feeling at this point. It's basically fantasy, and if you're a fan of the fantasy genre, then this show should feel at home for you. Now, with this being a Netflix original, I have to say it is hard to promise that this is going to get a second season. That didn't used to be the case, but now those corporate execs are really quick to chop stuff, so we need to have viewership if we want this show to get a second season. So give this show a try. I promise, if you are into mythology, if you like fantasy, if you want to just see Jeff Goldblum playing the best version of an asshole that he has probably ever played,
They put poop all over our statue.
then you need to check this show out. I think it really will hold you over while you're waiting for the next season of House of the Dragon. And if you're really taking a firm stance against Rings of Power, you've got nothing left for fantasy. This is your fantasy. Check this show out. For me, the show is an 8 out of 10. That's my thoughts on it. Did you guys see this show yet? Please put your thoughts on it in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, well then subscribe to this channel. Later.